Okay, so we've talked about book bans that have been happening at the state level, but now it's being taken to the national stage with the Republicans' Parental Bill of Rights that was voted on in Congress this week, and it did pass by one vote. So we almost beat this, and there's a very good reason why, because this bill is garbage. And it's terrible for young people. The Democratic minority, they put up a great fight, calling out like the hypocrisy of this bill, and they cited some of the things that it had in common. Well, I'm gonna let Representative Jim McGovern talk to you about that.
Now, I have a few books that Republicans want to ban. There's too many to go through now, but let me recite a few. The Life of Rosa Parks. Who is Sojourner Truth? The biography of Nelson Mandela, and the story of Harvey Milk. Now, do you notice any pattern here? They want to ban books about black and brown people, and they want to ban books about LGBTQI plus people. It is sick. It is hateful. What's wrong with them, Mr. Speaker?
Okay, real subtle there, aren't they? The thing is, Republicans will tell you that this bill does not target any specific books, but what it does do is it gives parents the rights to step in and say, hey, I don't like this book in my kid's school. And we see what happens in states that have already passed legislation like this. They've banned books that specifically target minorities and the queer community. And what's incredibly insidious about that is the fact that queer kids make up such a small percentage of the school population already. And then when you put on top of that, the number of books for them is even smaller. So the fact that they're banning all of these books, it's a disproportionate effect. And Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez points that out in this clip.
40% of banned books have reported are significantly addressing and specifically addressing LGBT issues. To say and talk about government reach and freedom, this Republican bill is asking the government to force the outing of LGBT people before they are ready.
Okay, that's right. There are already bills out there that will out students, whether that is for being gay, lesbian, or bisexual, and even transgender if a student decides that they want to identify by a different gender at school. There are already bills out there at the state level that will out them to their parents. And at the end of the day, that's dangerous to the students. That's the most important, and that's what we're here for, right? So why do we need a parent's bill of rights? Shouldn't we be protecting the students? Well, that's what the youngest member of Congress, the one who most recently graduated from high school, Maxwell Frost, had to say.
This bill focuses on parents' rights, but what about the rights of our students? What about the rights of our young people? Why are my Republican colleagues not advocating for our students? Is it because they know that the majority of young people despise legislation like this and do not support legislation like this that is bigoted? Is it because this generation is the most progressive generation this country has ever seen, because they want a world where everybody can succeed, where we see the world through the eyes of the most vulnerable?
That's right. School is where students go to learn. And it's not just learning in books. It's learning about themselves and each other and the community. And that's part of what's going on. And that's why we're seeing such a progressive generation come up in this country right now. And we all could use more of that. And instead of a parent's bill of rights, we need a student's bill of rights to protect them from bullies telling them what they can and can't read and who they can or can't be. Let's look out for the students and not the parents.